I'm now being joined by Mr. Garba Shehu, who is President Buhari's media aide. He joins us from Durban in South Africa. Thank you so much, Mr. Shehu. It's good to see you again. Before we delve into the matters that took the president and yourself and some of the team to South Africa, let's ask about you. Probably you've heard what the ASUU president was saying on the program. They've threatened that they will go on strike because government has not met the obligations it made to it, and they're threatening that we will resume strike in 3 weeks. Is the government, is the president aware of this, and what exactly is happening?
Well, if I understand you correctly, Sheung, I want to say that President Buhari is here in South Africa mainly as a salesman for the business opportunities that Nigeria has and is offering to Africa through the African Continental Trade Agreement. We have signed on to it. Most of Africa has signed on to it. It has gone into effect from January 1. Now, how can we trade better with each other? As we speak now, Africa controls only 3% of world trade, global trade. And between themselves, Africans trade only up to 15% between themselves. The rest they do with the countries outside the continent. So it's like we're taking our wealth and throwing it, across the oceans and to nations and the continents other than our own. So President Muhammadu Buhari has come in at the head of a big Nigerian delegation, and he is marketing Nigeria. Nigerians were there a year ago in Cairo, Egypt. When this thing happened, Nigerians naked deals worth more than $3.3 billion US. We are hoping that this year it's going to be much better.
The question I wanted to ask you to react on behalf of the president on the issue of ASUU strike before we go into a mission in South Africa, because back home here, lecturers, university lecturers will down tool, and what that means is that our children are going to be staying at home yet again. They've done that for several months in 2020. So that's what I wanted to ask you. Is the president aware that the lecturers are not happy and the federal government has not met its obligations and the promises made to these lecturers? Universities are maybe shut again.
I hope that does not happen again. I have not been briefed about this issue, and so therefore I cannot say just anything on it. I believe that the Minister of Labor, Minister of Education are in the best position to say something about this. Is the President aware? The President is briefed about ongoing matters on an everyday basis. So whatever is happening, he is fully aware. But have I discussed this with him? No, I have not. So I cannot speak for him on this matter.
But I think that if you are able to speak with the president, do tell him that these lecturers, they spoke on this program today and are very unhappy about the situation. They feel that the government is perhaps not sincere about its promises. They're being told they were going to settle all of these issues, that nothing was wrong and everything was going to be okay. The president of ASUU was speaking earlier on the program, and we do hope that our children will not go back and stay at home idle yet again. But so let's go into the mission, the global mission of this administration in seeking funds for development. Is this a deliberate effort made by, because we've seen the president go from country to country, and the drive, the conversation is being investment and seeking funds. Is it deliberate or is it just coincidental that these things are happening?
No, this cannot be accidental. Of course, it is planned for. Look, the world was shut down practically so for more than a year because of the epidemic. And gradually the world is reopening. Now, so what is wrong? President Muhammadu Buhari is making an early start, and he's engaging the investment community in all of these countries that he has visited, and he's asking come. Because, look, the effect of the epidemic on Nigerian economy has been perhaps a lot more severe than it was for other nations. But thank God we are able to manage it well and come out of the recession that it induced and all of that. However, to create jobs for the teeming young population of this country, to make the most of the opportunities, human resources, natural resources that this nation is endowed, we need foreign capital in Nigeria. We need foreign capital to support our earnings from oil, and so that the dollar itself will stabilize, will further come down, and our people will be the happier for it all.
So in this South African trip, President left Paris. I would like to know the benefit that came out of it and some of the gains. Did the president meet his plan, the target which took him to Paris, and some of those things, the agenda to Paris? And for Durban, what is the agenda? What is the bigger picture?
Well, you know, in Paris, the president had 3 major engagements. One is the Peace Forum. He has attended this every year. It's a global summit bringing world leaders to discuss how world peace can be achieved. Nigeria is missing from the table. It would be an enormous loss for our country. Now, the president also used his presence, you know, to support the government of Nigeria convene international business forum, international investment forum that attracted French and Nigerian investors. It was a hugely successful event, very well attended, and I'm sure that in due course, commitments achieved by Nigerian businesses at that forum will be disclosed. And in addition to that, of course, Mr. Macron invited President Muhammadu Buhari to a state visit. So all 3 events were merged, and Nigeria and France at a government-to-government level met and discussed a lot of issues, of course, matters of investment. You know, we had not looked in this direction for so long. Yes, English-speaking UK, America, and so on. We are surrounded by French-speaking countries. What are we making of the opportunities that France offers to our country? So this is important. And the president, of course, also gave an address at the ongoing UNESCO session, also in Paris. So 4 in 1. Here in Durban, South Africa, this is day 1. It is at the end of the engagement that we will count the gains. However, the president has done an exceedingly good speech at the event. And beside reading his address at the event, he has asked for cooperation between Nigeria, Africa Exim Bank, and the AFCTA, the Africa Continental. He has seen how they are working together, and he's quite pleased with that, and he wants to see more and more of that. So we are here in Nigeria. He had a chance to visit the Nigeria Pavilion. He was impressed by what he saw. The businesses from Nigeria that are exhibiting, we are hoping that they will rake in sales and investments that will make Nigerians happy.
All right, so let me, before I come back to Durban, you mentioned the issues of our neighbors, the Francophone countries Nigeria share borders with. The issue of security is very important. What is the takeaway, a major takeaway from that will help secure our nation from that trip to and the meeting with President Macron?
Well, we have you know that France is directly involved in matters of security in the Sahel-Sahara. The G5, although that excludes Nigeria, but that is not to say that we are not interested in what is going on. So the discussions did touch on these matters, on the need to further strengthen French participation in these affairs. Because as it is, you can see, judging from public opinion in France and the actions of Mr. Macron, France is gradually disengaging from security matters in sub-Saharan Africa and the Sahelian region. The job is not finished. And we have to work together in order to complete the ongoing successes that are being recorded against Boko Haram and the ISWAP. So we are together in that. In addition to that, of course, Nigeria has a lot of military equipment, including, the Alpha jets that had been serving this country for so many years. We are in need of spares and all of that. And for God's sake, also matters of COVID vaccination, because this also impinges on security. And President Muhammadu Buhari did make the point, and we're hoping to get a better attitude, not only from France, but from manufacturers, major producers of vaccine, so that we too here can be free, can be safe from COVID.
But what can you tell us, what specific commitment or agreement or takeaway from the President Macron and President Buhari's meeting in relation to security? Was there any major thing that we can hold on to?
Increase the cooperation, increase the support, especially in intelligence sharing. Look, take it from me, these neighboring countries are independent states, but we know the kind of relationship they have with metropolitan France. Sometimes it is what you agree with France that cascades down to the continent. So the president is following a path that is well beaten, that is well known, and is sure that it will produce the kind of results that we want. We are hoping we'll work more closely with France and indirectly working much closer with French West Africa.
Let's go back to issues in Durban. Experts I read earlier today criticizing the government that is going around the world seeking funding and support for investment. And their criticism, especially from some of the details of what has been submitted in the 2022 budget, about how the government has failed to cut costs and cost of governance when it's seeking support for funding. Charity, they say, begins at home. I don't know if you saw that piece of article that came out earlier today. Is the federal government thinking, President Buhari government thinking in that light, seeking more funding, but are we thinking of cutting costs?
Sharon, you just challenged the government on matters of ASUU. And to satisfy us, what do you need is money. We need to bridge shortfall in the budget by borrowing money. So what are we talking about? In the same way ASUU and the others are pressing for money, we have soldiers who are being challenged by terrorists. We have bandits who are challenging the authority of the state. In fact, we have agitators in several parts of the country who are challenging the sovereignty of this country. And everyone is taking from the same basket. The hospitals are there, the academic staff, all right, the military, and the Ministry of Works. Look, everyone is taking from the same basket, and there simply isn't enough to go around. And yet there is urgency to bridge shortfall, the gaps that are missing in our infrastructure. Because without setting up efficient infrastructure, this country's dream for prosperity and development will just fly out of the window. So we are borrowing not because President Buhari wants to take money and pocket it. No, this government, there's functionality in its borrowing. There is direct link between what is borrowed and the ongoing projects, and for everyone to see. And the Ministry of Works, Ministry of Transportation, Aviation, they all bear testimonies to this, and all the sectors of the country. So much is going on in the country.
So no, the question I'm asking specifically, I'm not asking that we should not get funds. Funds are very important for development. I mean, critical areas, security, education, health, very important. But the issue of prudence is what I'm talking about. The questions that are being raised about how prudent this government is. For example, in the 2022 budget, the president has been criticized, or the president's office criticized, for the proposal to spend a whopping 1.6 billion naira on new vehicles. And also, I mean, it's been seen as that the president in the last 6 years has spent about 5 billion on vehicles. At a point in time that we say we do not have as much money. So the question of prudence comes to play when the government is going around the world seeking for support.
Well, the fact that government is buying vehicles does not mean that it is an imprudent government. Let me tell you this. There was a ban on procurement of vehicles from the period of the recession. We have come out of recession. This is a president who, when he came to the office, they had 400 million naira already in the kitty in the State House for the procurement of new vehicles. He looked at the cars there and he said, look, these are cars Mr. Jonathan left behind. They are good enough for me, and he has used them all these years. I will tell you this, on a particular day, the president's spare car, escorting him to the airport, broke down on the way to the airport. Isn't this embarrassing for a country such as this country, the president's car? So therefore, we have to renew them. And the thing is that when they are bought new, the president leaves office, the people who come after him will use them. So there is nothing that is being done that is irresponsible. That's the point I want to make.
So I would like you to be able to explain to Nigerians, if you think that the government has been responsible in its spending and in the manner in which it's spending, if you look at the budget, a lot of issues that are being raised. Is it the money that have been budgeted or proposed to be spent on the Villa Clinic, or the monies that is being proposed to be spent on buying new vehicles? If you can explain to Nigerians how prudent this government is to convince them that we don't have as much money, but give us 2-3 areas where you think that this government have been very prudent to convince them.
Well, I tell you this, that we have a platform monitored by the president of this country, monitored at the highest level. No 5 million naira leaves government treasury in any government agency without this being indicated and being seen. So what are we talking about? We're saying that we're quite unlike in the past, when people who are big in government will ask central bank of Nigeria and say, bring dollars, bring naira. In Ghana must go. This is no longer happening in the country. And this clinic that you mentioned, we have come to this show several times to defend the fact that the president's appointments abroad were necessitated by medical needs and the fact that he had been used to, the same process 30, 40 years going back. So what is wrong in setting up this first-class facility within the domain of the villa, so that it's not for President Buhari alone? When he leaves office, he's not going to take this to Daura. It will remain to serve successive Nigerian leaders. We are saying next, from now going forward, no Nigerian leader will have the excuse to travel abroad for medical treatment if this facility is fully established.
Is that a promise your government is making to Nigerians? Because that's not the first time you are hearing that.
It is a projection we are making. It will satisfy the needs reasonably of any Nigerian leader when that facility is.
What is going to be different from this facility that is not in existence now?
It is going to have whatever is missing from existing facilities. Technical details, I'm sure Permanent Secretary of State House would give you all of that.
All right. Before I allow you to go, Ms. Shehu, so that you can attend to some of your activities and itinerary for in Durban, there has been this request, those who are clamored that the president should have spoken or should speak, or the presidency should naturally, as the head of the executive, speak about the situation we saw happen, the siege on the home of the Supreme Court Justice Mary Odili. Is there any reason why we have not officially heard from the office of the president?
Well, the constitution under our constitution, executive power is domiciled in the office of the president. Whichever minister exercises power, he is doing so upon consent, upon the permission of the president. So if a Nigerian government minister, in this case Attorney General, has attended to such a sensitive issue, take it that it is the President of Nigeria that is doing this. Because that authority the Attorney General is exercising cannot be exercised without let by the President.
All right. Well, we'll probably take it that the Attorney General has spoken on behalf of the President. Is that the position of things?
Oh, absolutely. He has no authority, no basis to exercise power without the permission of the President.
All right. I most sincerely thank you, Mr. Garba Shehu, and I hope that you enjoy your stay in Durban. Try to get some new meals. Maybe that will change your taste palette that you experience in Paris. And do stay safe. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's Mr. Garba Shehu, President Buhari's media advisor. And that's how we end the show for today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Kimbalwe. Bye-bye.